First of all, thank you for having me today. It's really a pleasure for me. Thermal comfort is the most important thing in administration buildings as well as in residential buildings. So let's have a closer look to this, why it is like it is. Why should we take care about the thermal comfort in buildings, especially in administration buildings? Because the opposite of thermal comfort is the sick building syndrome. People are getting sick, people can't work anymore, and so the capacity and the performance of the companies in those buildings are decreasing. So it is a really important thing to take care about the health of the people inside of the building. And in the first step, we take a look at the science. If we try to figure out a kind of perfect temperature for people inside of the building, then it depends on the level of concentration and satisfaction. And if you see this figure here, at this diagram here, you can maybe say, okay, 22 or 23 degrees might be a good temperature to feeling comfort. On the other hand, you can see the same temperature, the risk of accident is decreasing. So this is quite a good figure and a first glimpse in which direction we have to design our buildings, in which direction we have to design our technologies to allow a good level of concentration combined with satisfaction. This was the scientific way. Now we are taking a closer look to the guidelines, because as you know, for every case we have guidelines. And so for the thermal comfort, for the summative thermal comfort, we have the guideline DIN EN ISO 7730. And this is a quite good, not an orientation, it is more than an orientation to design buildings in taking care of the thermal comfort. So you find different categories, A, B, or C, where you can decide which category do you want to have, in which category do you want to work. So this is the first item and the first information for all the architects if you design for example, then this administration buildings. What are the influences? The influences are, for one example, this PMV. This PMV stands for the predicted mean vote. Predicted mean vote means you have a balanced feeling of your body temperature to all the surrounding influences like air temperature, like surfaces temperature, like air speed flows, and things like this. The second point is the PPD. This is the predicted percentage of dissatisfied. And I think this is a quite good and optimistic information, because if you ask all the people, maybe in an open space office, are you satisfied? Is the temperature okay? Are all this climatization is okay? I think you would never have 100% of agree. At least 6%, and this is the best value, won't agree that is up to optimized in the thermal comfort. So this gives us the human aspect in technology. So it is really important to make this pre-designing, and this gives the target to the technology which you want to use to catch and to fulfill those targets. And you see those operative temperatures for cooling mode, also for heating mode. And this operative temperature is a mixture between the air temperature and the surface temperature which surrounds us. So this is this temperature which we can really feel as humans. And as you can see, if you decide for a category B, for example, you have a temperature spread and you have a tolerance of plus minus 1.5 degrees. If we want to have a higher level quality, then this tolerance is not as big as in category B. This gives us also information for the airflow rates, because if the airflow rate is too high, then we have to take care about the thermal comfort. So why cooling? This is the claim to the technical design. In the hypothesis, I say thermal comfort is a presupposed value in technical design. The challenge is increasing demand of thermal comfort and increasing demand for cooling. On the third point, which is not mentioned on the slide over there, but it's the most important point, is decrease the CO2 emissions. So this is a really hard target and a hard challenge to fulfill. Conclusion is the thermal comfort is a fixed set value in technical design. And, okay, the task to all of us, to all our engineers, is now to find the most fitting technology for thermal comfort for each single administration building. TABS, or thermal influenced buildings, structure buildings, are the most common and most effective technology for thermal comfort. So in this case, let's look a little bit more in detail to the TABS systems. In general, we are talking about TBS as a lazy system due to the position of the pipes, which are in the middle of the structure, and we have a long reaction time to influence the surface temperatures and so influence the room temperatures and all the other circumstances in the room. But the question is this really then a technology only for the basic loads? My answer is, it depends on the use of the rooms and of the buildings. It could be a really good strategy to cover the basic loads by a TABS, but in some cases, TABS can also be a standalone solution. The next version of TABS is a quite a new version of TABS. It is close to the surface TABS. That means in this case, the pipes are laying below the lower armor layer, and so we have just a covering of concrete, maybe 1.5 or 1.6 centimeters, then we will meet the pipe. So the reaction time of this TABS close to the surface is quite fast. It is in the behavior close to a wall heating or cooling or a covered ceiling heating or cooling system. On the other hand, we take the advantages of a typical classical TABS system in general. That means a massive energy storage in the ceiling or in the concrete unit. So we are talking about a fast system, a prefabricated system, which allows us to get more speed on the construction site, more safety on the construction site, and of course, one big point, more flexibility on the construction site, even though in the using of all these buildings in the running time. Let's take finally a look at a study to the thermal comfort. For that, we ask the University of Nuremberg to compare 7 different systems in the comparison of heating and cooling mode and the thermal comfort. For that, we designed a room around about 177 square meters, and then we measured all the different figures and temperatures in that room with every single system. It's too much to show you all the 7 systems, but I grab out 3 different systems. First of this is a system, only a standalone version of TABS close to the surface, and combined, of course, with a natural way of air exchange just by opening and closing windows. In this case, we have a flow temperature of 80 degrees and a surface temperature on the ceiling of around about 21 degrees. This shows us one very important point. These are really smoothie temperatures for cooling. So in this case, we have a really good possibility to use renewable energies, heat pumps, and so on, to combine it with a concrete core temperature regulation. It is a well-operating system. It is really, the thermal comfort is giving. There's just 2 points that you have to take care. 1 point, if it comes to an overload in this room, which we have simulated, then we have an increase of the temperature of maybe 1.3, 1.4 degree above 26, which is our upper level. Another point is that you can't influence the air quality. It is just concrete core temperature regulation. The second one is a TABS close to the surface with central air conditioning, and in this case the capacities are with round about 70% by the TABS and around about 30% by the air conditioning system. The air conditioning system runs just only for the air exchange rate by a hygienic point of view. In this combination, we have the best results. We have also quite good results if you compare it then again with a standalone air conditioning system. But in this standalone air conditioning system, to have really this high quality of this thermal comfort, you have to increase the air exchange rate. It means higher airflow, higher noise level, and this is not so satisfied and smoothly feeling then into the room. The summary shows us, if we compare now this thermal comfort with these 3 systems, that okay, this TABS system as a standalone solution is quite a good system, because if you take care about not only the thermal comfort but the running cost, the invest cost, it's really an interesting solution for many, many buildings. The best result we have with the TABS combined with central air conditioning, and as I mentioned, okay, nearly on the second place we have then the central air conditioning as a standalone version. As I mentioned, it is the most expensive version. Summary: TABS is the technology which we are really in a long experience knowledge. The first TABS, as I know, was built in Switzerland in 1938. And from that time, we had a lot of experience, especially at REHAU. We had experience for centuries and centuries, so that and decades and decades. So we have really a long-running experience. The most important message I want to give you is every building is unique. Every building needs its own design. Every building needs an individual design that fits to the use of the building, and this is one of the most, I would say, positive messages, because this gives us all the work that we love to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for a very interesting presentation. And I heard you said very clearly that TABS, thermal active building structures, and you use expression are lazy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because do you think it was almost the last slide that we can use the air conditioning system or mechanical ventilation together with TABS, and we can increase the efficiency and the satisfaction?
Yes, it is, of course, in my personal opinion, it is one of the best possibilities to use the advantage of both systems. So we have a really good temperature on all the surfaces that gives us a really high comfort, but it's also important to take care about the air quality. And in combination of those 2 technologies, you have really a high quality standard. And as I mentioned before, it is also a really good opportunity to use renewable energies. And in this point, we have it is an old technology, but it is also a good and new technology for all our projects in the future.
It looks that artificial intelligence is making reaction to English. I will try to translate the questions. You are the first one who obtained the questions.
Mm-hmm.
It is influence of cooling or heating system for so-called aesthetic of the cover beton which is used for the floors or ceiling. It is not possible to have some negative drawings of so-called, in German, crisis.
I'm not sure if I've on the right way. It is, in fact, always a point that you have to take care about. And if you use a ceiling for TABS, then of course you have to take care about other things and other influences. And of course you have to take care about statics. Of course you have to take care about acoustic circumstances, and so on and so on and so on. But there are a lot of flexible solutions available, and so I'm absolutely convinced this is absolutely modern technology for all the buildings we build in the future.
And the next question, which is talking about if it is always needed the cooling system for the tubs, or if it is enough if we will use only the tubs from the thermal or cooling load point of view.
Yeah, this is a really interesting question. Thank you for that. Especially taps are really one of the most or the best technologies in combination with geothermal applications, and it's absolutely we have this high capacity in the structure, so this is a really good possibility to save and to store a lot of energy. And so we have a lot of flexible ways to solve or to save energy. Because energy machines like heat pumps and things, the running times are really short because of this high possibility, especially in cooling, also from time to time in heating.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Skôr ako predstavím ďalšieho, možno len na dovetok, všetky tieto systémy TAPS by mali byť využívané so vzduchotechnikou, či to bude mechanické vetranie alebo klimatizácia, a tým pádom sa veľmi dá dobre vybalancovať, že kryjeme tepelné straty alebo tepelné zisky len TAPSom, čiže vykurovaním, chladením, a vetrací systém alebo klimatizačný slúži len, není dimenzovaný na plnú tepelnú stratu ani plný tepelný zisk, ale na hygienickú výmenu vzduchu v tom danom priestore. Ale tieto systémy musia vedľa seba existovať, ak chceme zabezpečiť tepelný komfort a súčasne aj indoor air quality.